in days, you see what I'm saying? What we need to be doing as a people, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, is we got to stop and we got to discontinue doing all the things the Most High told us not to do. You see what I'm saying? Like, we got to walk away from those things. Those things have become so much a part of our lives that we don't even see the wrong in them at this point. You see what I'm saying? So we've got to learn that not only the things that we're doing is wrong according to the Lord, we gotta have a heart for the Lord, meaning we gotta wanna do right by the Lord, man.
Find out what God's law is. It ain't no religion on thou shalt not eat pork. That ain't no religion. It's simply a law. Don't eat it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no religion on thou shalt not commit adultery. It ain't no religion. It's just simply a rule that you gotta follow. God gave us them rules. We left them rules and we destroyed ourselves.
Overnight, just 1%. One night violence. So now what? One night violence. So now what? One night violence. This is why God is right. The Bible says that God is a just God.
Talk to me.
What led police to pull the man over? All of this untold.
Remember that there's a whole we the lost tribes. They don't believe the Bible. They said white man wrote it, but still celebrate them holidays. But white men don't they? Like Christmas and Thanksgiving appetites. I don't eat so much for family at the time. Going out the opposite. I won't compromise. I got integrity and more heart than Valentine's. I read through the book they sell on Amazon. Owned by the same folks that told us to apologize. Remember slaves couldn't read, wasn't allowed. So it's meaning when I tell you I'm black and I'm proud. Murder is with the sword. That's how we learn religion. Unity standards violate my First Amendment. This is free from our heritage under these masters. Like a bitch, they make up lies and give you public lashes.
Come on, hey, say it again.
Say it again. Say it again. I'm fucking what? My nigga skeletons. It's hectic out there. Hope you checking on your relatives. Brotherhood, that's what my weapon is. And I never let these crackers take it from me. You probably never heard this all of your life. Be careful because you love it in a place of your life. Long as we got each other, my nigga.
You want to run your mouth?
No, because you was looking at my license plate for what?
Exactly.
For what?
You don't have the right to run it.
I got my right to do anything I want to do. I'm a police officer.
You can't run it.
God is against the white man. He had no choice to leave.
I done lost friends. Day one, niggas thought was riding to the end. Still showed up, put in that work. Hide behind a smile while I'm walking with this hurt. Some nights I felt alone, most nights I felt cold. Some nights I drove around, I didn't want to go home. Nigga, I ain't never been, I ain't never fold. Follow orders like a soldier doing what I'm told. Even when the council wasn't making any sense, I ain't never down. I was put to the test. Days I was fucked up and down to my last cent. Reaching in my pockets only come up with less. I'm talking even on the days that I couldn't pay my rent. I put down for my brothers, ain't spared no space. If I ever got cause no offense, please forgive your brother, Lord, that ain't what I meant. See that brotherhood or weapon, fighting that deception. When something taken from you, then it's just a blessing. Shorty really loved me, gave me everything she got, and I'm sorry, baby girl, if I ever broke your heart, man, mistakes that I made. No, they'll fade. Every heart lifted. Take away the shame. Wash away the stain. Praying to the Lord for the days that I was pain.
Israel. That's the same person. His name was changed to Israel. So the Bible
As long as we got each other,
the Bible is saying that God loves these people. The 12 tribes of Israel. Because that's who he made a covenant with. That's who he made a promise with. God loves them. Now let's keep reading. But Esau, when you sit here and read the Bible, so I won't even ask you. I'll tell you. Esau is the forefather of the so-called white race. That's the race of Edom. That's Esau. Every race of people on the face of the earth can trace their lineage back to a forefather. And the Bible has that history. It's saying right here that, but Esau, the forefather of white people, have I hated. About what? Have I hated. H-A-D-E-D. That's what the Bible says. Now we don't like this. I know, Eric, that sounds crazy. You said you was going to believe me.
Talk to me.
For the Black Hispanics and Native Indians, check out ISUPK Baltimore. Don't forget to like.
General Yohana. Oh, my bad. Oh. Shalom, Israel. We're the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And today is Wednesday's law class, and we've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people since 1969 that they are the real Jews of the Bible. Let's clap it up for Wednesday law class. And today's topic is the answer to the question, why? Why us? Right? In America today, we are currently in a time period where we see the disdain for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and it's becoming more and more blatant. Donald Trump's rhetoric and constant treatment of our people, right, has allowed our nation to actually see the other nations for who they really are. And this has been a problem that we've been facing in our community, that we always want to believe that these other nations love us the same way that we love them, right? But nowadays we starting to see on the news, whether it was the Carmelo Anthony situation or the what's the Asian guy, Rick Child situation, right? And then when you see how the UFC fighter goes and he wins his little match, what he says about Michelle Obama, listen, these other nations are starting to become more and more blatantly showing themselves who they truly are. The problem with us as a people, we didn't see them for who they truly are. And that because of certain aspects of our life that we hold dear to them, right? So, right, we got to understand that. Why do they hate us, right? Why can't they just leave us alone, right? We as a people catch ourselves asking why when it comes to all these situations. When you see these atrocities on TV, how many times like we constantly see these type of things happen to our people, right? Oh, there's another situation. Just recently, a brother just got unalived by 5 white people, you know what I'm saying, down in, I believe, Atlanta. And then just in Mississippi, a cop unalived the 1-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So it's a trend, right? It's starting to be a point that whereas though we are getting attacked. And while this stuff is happening to the tribe of Judah, we still forgetting that what's still going on to the other our northern tribe brothers and sisters over there by the border. ICE is still out here. ICE is still hunting our brothers and sisters. So we got to really understand that there is a reason why these things are transpiring, all right? But those answers, why this, why that, why we gotta continue going through this. What if I was to tell you, right, that the answer is somewhere in our house collecting dust? The answer is from a book that is the #1 seller around the whole entire world, right? That's a problem. That's something we got to really understand. It's been in our living rooms. A lot of us put it on our tables for decoration. So when people come over, they might think we got like some morals or something, right? And I know a lot of people online going to believe like, oh, that's the white man's book. When we say that the Bible is the answer, a lot of people going to say it's the white man's book. The white man wrote it. They use it to enslave us, right? But I'm here to tell you, right? The Bible and Christianity, what the white people used to enslave us with, is 2 separate things. The Bible teaches black supremacy in our culture. Christianity teaches white supremacy and keeping us docile and loving everybody and continuously be in the condition that we in, asking ourselves why. And I know a lot of people want to make it synonymous, but it's not the same. They just took the book and threw a doctrine on the book and run with it. We gotta, as a people, we gotta really start understanding and get back to what we know to be true. All right. The Bible is the answer to these questions. And today I'm gonna break it down to you so you can actually understand why these things are happening. Because a lot of brothers and sisters in the truth, when we see these atrocities, like injustices going down to our people, and we see how these devils react and these heathens react, to us, a lot of us, it's nothing new. Right now we have a blackout with the Asians, right? Whereas though our people feel as though, you know what I mean, we not going to shop at their stores and buy their food. But what we really not really understanding is that within a short period of time, we're going to be back to doing it. Why? Because we don't truly understand that who they really are. Right? We get caught in our feelings and remove off our feelings, but the Bible is going to explain to you exactly who they are. And when you understand who they are, you'll be able to fight that situation, right? You'll be able to stick to it. All right. So one thing I want to do is let me get Deuteronomy 28:1. And the reason I want to start here is because I want to show you that if we did what we were supposed to do, we wouldn't need no answer for the question why. A lot of us don't really understand that, like, it was set up for us where we would not be in this condition. But when we start breaking down, you know what I'm saying, Deuteronomy 28, we're going to get to the point where we're going to realize, like, we made those decisions. All right. You got Deuteronomy 28:1. Oh, select it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thine God.
All right, so check this out, right? For a lot of people online don't really understand where we at right in this story. So during this period of time, we all know the story, especially you grew up in Christianity, you all know the story about Moses freeing the Israelites, right? Black, Hispanics, First Nation people, these 12 tribes right here. Moses had freed us out of, the Most High used Moses to free us out of slavery, right, in Egypt. So and then we went into the wilderness. And during this time period in the wilderness, we was given laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, when it came to the law, statutes, and commandments, the Most High set it up where as though if we do what he say do, right, certain things will transpire. If we don't do what he say do, certain things will transpire. So right now we're reading what would happen if we did what we supposed to do. All right, think of it more or less like when you got a kid, when your father or your mother be like, yo, if you get good grades, you'll get this. The Most High is basically saying, you follow my rules, you'll get this. All right. So he's saying, and it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently. So if you listen carefully, right, unto the Lord thy God, to the voice of the Lord thy God. So we were supposed to listen carefully to the voice of the Lord thy God. Continue reading.
To observe and to do all his commandments.
To observe and to do all his commandments, right? That is what we were supposed to do, all right? During this period of time, the Most High said, yo, I want you not only to observe them, right? Go to these high holy days. Celebrate the high holy days. Do these type of things. Come to the Sabbath services. Do exactly as I say do. Keep all the commandments, right? You know what I'm saying? Not eating pork, not eating shrimp, all right? Those type of things. You feel me? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Continue reading.
Which I command thee this day.
One thing we always gotta realize, right, when it comes to these laws, statutes, and commandments, one of the funniest things, well, it's not one of the funniest things, but one of the things that we tend to look over, right, and it's blatant when you really look at the words. The first word is command. When your father and your mother tell you to do something, There isn't no why. There isn't no I'm gonna do it later. Yo, you do it. Why? Because they command you to do it. The Most High, the creator of this universe, the one that if you in a Christian church, you hoop and holler, rip and run, you know what I mean, dance and sing, and you do so much to claim you following the Most High. That God commanded you this day to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And the funny thing, even when it comes to the word commandments, the root word of that is command. All right, these are commandments. These are not suggestions. All right, we gotta really understand that. Do what we're supposed to do. All right, this is what we have to do as a people. So the Most High literally says, right, which I command thee this day. So he's letting us know, yo, you follow these laws, statutes, commandments, which I given you this day. All right, continue reading.
That the Lord thine God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
The Most High, if we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, we will be set above all nations of the earth. Now, right now, we sitting here watching the news and watching CNN and all these news outlets and TikTok and Facebook, right? And we realizing like, yo, all the nations, right? They hate us. All the nations do whatever they want to us. You know why? Because we at the bottom. We at the bottom of the society because we chose to not follow those commandments. But if we did keep those commandments, read it again, we're going to be where?
Above
all
nations.
All nations, not some nations, not a nation and a half. All nations. We're going to be above all nations. That's what was promised to us, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, that we'll be above all nations. Aren't we tired of going to work? I'm tired of working. I ain't even going to hold you. I'm not even that old, and I'm tired of slaving for these other nations. You know what I'm saying? Every day we got to, no matter what, put a smile on and go to work. Worst jobs. We work the worst jobs. I was watching what's this show? It's the little when they be buying houses, right? And you know the devils, they always come in there with a wild job. They be like, yo, I got like, it was a clip on Facebook, and it was like, yo, I'm gonna buy a house, and I got together. Me and my wife, we got like what $400,000, so we try and buy an expensive house or whatever, right? When I found out, it shows you their occupation. My man was a rubber band collector. You know what I'm saying? This like, where the resume for that at? Where's the job application for that? Because a lot of brothers and sisters, that's nothing. We'd do that in a heartbeat. How many of our brothers and sisters working at a warehouse that collect rubber bands? You get paid money. I seen another video on Facebook where it ain't nothing but devils in the room, and there's an art show. Nothing but devils in this room. There's one devil come out the back. He come out the back is a square. It's like a square, and there's on like this ball. He come out the room. He dip his feet in this paint. He lay on his back. He put his feet on the square, and then as he kicked the square, it starts spinning. Yo, just keep bang, 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 hitting it with the paint. You know what I mean? That's on his feet. He sold that art for like $1 million. You know what I'm saying? See, they get the pleasure of doing whatever. You seen the sport where they get paid money where they got a fake horse. It's a broomstick, right, with a horse face on it, and they get to run around and jump and hop. They are up high because we can't even fathom thinking about doing those type of jobs. You know why? Because we know we ain't gonna get no money. We know it's gonna be hard as I don't know what out here to survive. Right? We the people that gotta give up on. You know how many movies we seen where when it comes to these devils' families, they parents be like, man, listen, yo, you can strive for your dream and keep it up and keep, you know what I'm saying? No matter how broke we are, yo, just keep it up. We don't got that luxury because we in captivity. We gotta, in order for us to, we have to work. All right. We gotta understand that we are at the bottom of society, and no matter what the things that we go through, we are still expected to make money for them. All right. But if we'd have kept them laws, statutes, and commandments, we would have been on top. Now, We all know the story. The Israelites, our ancestors, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we did not keep those commandments. Why? If you online, make sure you check in, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and then if you online, you can answer this question. Why didn't we choose to keep the law, statutes, and commandments? You know why? Maybe they got somebody online. First, like it.
Oh, we have no comments yet online, sir.
Come. All right, so the reason why we didn't keep these commandments is because we became envious of the other nations and their way of life, and we chose their way of life better than our way of life. We thought their way of life was better, right? Now, how many of us right now believe it's crazy not to celebrate a day where everybody gives you gifts? That's crazy. You go out in the world and you tell somebody you don't celebrate that day, they're gonna be like, yo, that's wild. How many of us believe it's crazy that we can't eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster? We from Baltimore. Yo, crabs is Maryland. That's our staple. That's crazy we can't eat that, right? How many of us think it's crazy we can't lie with white, Asian, Indian, and Arab women, Hamite women, man? Women is women. Back when I was in the world, listen, man, women. That's crazy. We can't lay with them, right? How many of us think it's crazy not to celebrate the new year? It's the beginning of a new year. We just going out to celebrate. It's a new year. God don't allow us to see a new year, right? How many of us think it's crazy that we can't go out? When we do go out, we can't get white boy wasted. Like, yo, it's just a couple drinks. I'm having fun. I'm with my family and friends. Like, yo, that's crazy that we can't do that, right? How many of us think it's crazy that we just can't love who we want to love? We see an Arab woman, an Asian woman, right? Yo, why we can't love them, right? How many of us think it's crazy that we just can't lie with a woman and just be done with her, right? That's crazy. Us as a people, we like, yo, what you mean I can't just lay with shorty and dip? That's what the world about. Be free, right? I mean, that's what they say in songs, and that's what the old heads taught us, man. Just lay with shorty, dip, right? How many of us think it's crazy that we can't take another man's woman? She giving me the eye. She mean I can't holler at her. She talking to me. She probably see something good in me. Why can't I lay with that man's woman? Like, she don't really rock with you. That's crazy, right? How many of us think it's crazy, right, that we can't just get high with all this oppression going on, with all the stuff we see in this world, right? With all this bills, kids and work and parents and family and, you know what I mean, friends and all this stuff getting on your nerves. What you mean we can't get high? That's crazy, right? How many of us think it's crazy that a man can have more than one woman? A lot of our sisters like, yo, that's wild, right? We gotta really understand this as a people, right? For every Black, Hispanic, and First Nation person, at one point in their life, we all believe that those examples was crazy. There's no way I'm not gonna be able to do that. There's no way. What you mean? Right? Now, that's the same mindset your ancestors felt. Because you know who was standing there to the opposite, who had an opposite way of life? Because all those things is laws and statutes and commandments that we supposed to follow. But it's why we call a white man the devil. Because he had an opposite plan. Oh, you know what? The scriptures say you can't get high. Man, just get high. Over here, listen. Over here, bro, you can get high. Understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. These other nations want you to go against what the Most High set forth for you, right? You got, when it come to holidays, America, like they push it on you, right? Like that's their thing. You feel me? That what you gotta really understand, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. And this is why I really want us to really understand as a people. The Bible and the world, the way the world lives, it's not the same. Everything that America pushes, think about it. Like literally everything they pushes, even the idea of love everybody. That again is a lie. That is something to go against what the Bible says. See, a lot of us put a lot of stuff on the Bible that's not even there. It's not even spoke about. Understand that everything, the laws and statutes and commandments was to put us up on high. But when we was looking at these other nations, like, yo, they get to sleep with women and just pass them off. Yo, they get to celebrate their birthday. Why would I want to celebrate that? I get a free gift from everybody. And then that day, everybody treat me like a god. Ever heard your parents say, it's his birthday, he can't get a whooping. It's his birthday, he can't get in trouble. It's his birthday, so let him talk this way. It's his birthday. Let him watch what he want to watch. Right? What you mean? What you mean us as a people, we ain't want to do that? Like, yo, I would want to do that. That's the same mindset our ancestors had, man. All right. We chose the way of life, and the oppressor, they knew. See, one thing we about to really unravel today, your enemies know who you are, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. The problem is we don't want to accept it. They will tell you in so many movie films and shows, books, that you are the real Jews of the Bible. Paintings, artifacts, history, old newspapers, old maps. They will tell you that you're the Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. You're the real Jews. But the problem is we don't see nothing great in ourselves that we won't even fathom the idea that we are Jews. Right now, a devil can come out right now today and say he is something. We won't question him. You know, it's crazy when you come in the truth and you say you are an Israelite and you a Jew. Black people question you being a Jew. They will never question the white man for whatever he claimed to be. White man said he a girl and a boy. He a girl, but he transitioned to a boy. We starting to accept that. I mean, that's just how we feel. He's a transgender boy or whatever, right? This is a problem we have to face with our people. We got to get away from the way of life that America is teaching us because it doesn't line up with what the scriptures say, right? Scriptures say again, Deuteronomy 28:1, if thou shalt hearken to the Lord thy God diligently and keep all his commandments, we will be set up high. High. And don't we will want that as a people? Don't we want to be up high? Why we want to still be down low? Like, how many of us, of our mothers, we done seen just cry when they come home from work? Because it's just too much. And every day they gotta get up and go back out there into this world. How many Captain Tazariak had a video of a young lady, little girl, she probably had to be like at least 7 or 8. When the police officer said something to her, she was so scared, get the crying and all that. Because we understand that, listen, the rest of the world don't care about Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Right? We see it in our actions, but for some reason, we still like even when it came to the Rick Child situation, if you ask any Black, Hispanic, and First Nation person about when you were going to a store and a person follow you, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna say it was like an Asian. That's the stereotype we already got because that's what they do. So when they do those things, why are we surprised? The reason we are surprised is because we believe that they love us. Why? Because we like anime. Asians gotta love us. We made their stuff cool. They gotta love us. But in retrospect, they don't love you. You just make money for them. And I'm gonna show you. All right, so let me get slot here, sir. Can you now again, that was what the Most High said what would happen if we did keep his commandments. Again, we already know from the story and the conditions that we live in, and we didn't keep those commandments. Right now is the doctrine Christianity teach, don't keep the laws. Right, so you got to really understand that and think about that, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. If God said keep the commandments and you'll be up high, and the preacher man is telling you not to keep them, wouldn't that equate to him saying, I want you to stay low? Because what you don't really understand, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, these preachers, they prey on your you being oppressed. This is why their sermons is nothing about but feel good sermons. It's like they motivational speakers and prosperity teachings. This is what they do because they want you to continuously come back. And if the Most High bless, so what the Christian church, what they'll do is say, hey man, give me your money, right? And we gonna pray over you. And what's gonna happen is eventually, you know what I'm saying, God is gonna work mysterious ways and he gonna bless you. What happened the next week, man? Somebody bless you. You know what you equate that to? That Christian pastor telling you that. All right. It's just like, look at it like this. If a person is shooting a basketball, right? Eventually he gonna miss. So when he miss, you be like, yo, I told you that was gonna happen. That's the same thing with the Christian church, man. A blessing could be anything, man. Blessing could be a guy give you $5. You know what I'm saying? Or pick up your shift early because they need the money. It could be anything. Do not get beguiled by these Christian pastors and the stuff that they teaching, man. All they doing is praying on you. Right now, we're gonna scroll down a couple verses. Right now, if you at home, you can read all the way down to 15 and see all the things that was promised to us. All right, you can scroll down and see that. But in verse 15, we're going to talk about what happens if we do not keep the commandments. And this is where we fall in Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. And I know it might be hard for us to accept accountability because we don't want to, a lot of us don't really want to understand that, like, we did something wrong. All right, but in fact, we did do something wrong, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. You heard your hand raised? Oh, we did do something wrong. All right, and what we did wrong was, again, not keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You got verse 15, sir? It's in Deuteronomy 28. Mm-hmm. Come, sir.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
So it's going to come to pass, right? Continue reading.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thine God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
So, again, we was told to do all of them. Now we about to find out if we did not do all of them. All right, continue reading.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All right, so and all right, these curses transpired because we chose not to keep these laws, statutes, commandments. And what you gotta really understand, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, when your parents would tell you to do something and you didn't do it, you received a consequence. Right now, if you are a parent and you have a child and you tell your child to do something and they don't do it, they have a consequence. For some reason, well, it's not for some reason, because we listen to these lies that these devils have created to make us believe that we can question our Father. We messed up. We got punished. The problem is we still like sitting in that corner. He sent us to the corner and we like it for some odd reason. And we don't realize you on punishment. It's like, it's like a person making the best out of punishment. Like at the end of the day, bro, like, you in punishment, man. While the rest of the world having a blast, you just stuck in that corner. You know what I'm saying? And we all been sent to the corner before, and ain't nothing worse than you seeing your siblings ripping and running, doing mad fun stuff, and you just stuck in that corner. Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we stuck in that corner. We oppressed, right? We at the bottom of society. This is why a brother can get unalived for a bottle, not even for a bottle of water, because he ain't have one, and the man go free because we stuck in them corner. We stuck in that corner. We on punishment. And this is a problem where we really got to understand, man. This is why you can be sitting at a track meet, chilling under the tent because it's raining, talking to your friends that invited you over there. And then these clowns, these devils, these bullies come up to you, walk up so many bleachers to say something to you, to get you to leave. And then his dumb self falls on your knife. And then you, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, end up going to jail. Why? Because we chose not to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? Just, what's crazy about that whole case? All you gotta do is go, I believe, a couple counties over in Texas. Same situation happened, but it was a little bit different. They scheduled a fight. High school students scheduled a fight. They ended up going towards the fight. One dude said, I'm not even going to fight. I'm going to shoot you and unalive you. And that's what he did. How much time he got? I think he got like 10 years on, because it was, I believe it was like it wasn't a murder charge. It was I think a manslaughter or something like that. Now, think about that. They planned to scuffle. And he decided, I'm going to bring a gun. But yet he still was able to get the defense of self-defense. But you chilling at a game because it's raining. Your friend invites you over to the tent. You cool, and all the witnesses say you're chilling. And then these bullies come and mess with you, and you get 35. You gotta understand the reason we get those type of things, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, because we fell from the law, statutes, and commandments. And one thing we don't know is that following behind these other nations that hate us, we just playing into their games. All right. Good.
Like, okay, so the brother didn't get charged for having a knife on school property. And even if he did have a knife on there, on the school property, it was probably because it was some angry devils that were running around the school harassing and bullying people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people think that he should have got, listen, we supposed to live by, a law that America, took so much time to write out, you know what I'm saying? And it's supposed to be law and order.
Right.
Right. And it's supposed to be things you can do and things you can't do. And it just plays out that way. Right. Well, that's how all cases should be. It should be fair.
Right.
That's what Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians saying. Like, if we was stolen, a group of people was stolen, we was forced to be here, then we acknowledge we're here.
Right.
And we try to make the best of it, and we add our skills into America, right? We should be, we like, some people say that we should be just accepted into the fairness. We put our work in, you know what I'm saying? But instead, you got devils that just, they don't know why they hate. They don't know why.
Right.
They just hate.
Right.
Right. And they want to make an excuse for anything. That's why you make an excuse also for Trump, your president.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's a criminal. You know what I mean? He's a child assayer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's in the Epstein's files with, they said this, sir. They said there's so many political people that are in the Epstein's files,
Right.
that if they locked up everybody, it wouldn't be no more political seats.
Come.
Wouldn't be nobody in politics or in the government no more. You know what I'm saying?
That's heavy.
Nobody has made a big ruckus about that. You know what I'm saying? As much as you made about a young man that was jumped, that went under a tent and was approached,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, by a young baby devil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why this nation is you can't integrate with them, because they're always going to be suicidal.
Right.
They're always going to be unalivers,
Right.
because they're like an angry woman that has no accountability for their actions. And their children see it, and their children are like angry women babies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have no accountability for their actions. That's why when they explode in the house, they're going to unalive you, their mom, their father, their little brother, their little sister, the goldfish, the gold retriever, and anything else.
Right.
You'll just have to deal with this. And this is why we should separate. I just wanted to say that, because it's devils in the comments they're just I mean, they just getting to me. So I guess, sir.
That's powerful. We need to understand that as a people, man. Listen, these devils, it's crazy how, like, even us as a people, we got to the point where we hate ourselves so much that we believe these lies of these devils. Listen, man, they came over here and unalived nations of people. They came over here and pillaged and raped and essayed communities continuously to this day, right? Tim Tebow, the football player, he said, guess what? The number one assayer for children is nothing but white devil males. You know the crazy part about it? We been knew that, right? Because the Catholic Church, that's what they live by. Catholic Church, that's their motto for real. If you a choir boy, yo, they gonna touch you, right? This is something that they a part of. Epstein files. Your president is one, and all these devils is proud to represent the president. He's great. He's great. You know why? Because he does what they do. This is a part of them. This is their culture. But in that same retrospect, they got our people thinking we the most dangerous. They got our people think we're the ones who commit the most crimes. That's how, like, we've been destroyed as a people, that we will actually believe them. Right now, it's going on. This is what they do. Right now, it's an Asian right now killing the unaliving the cat, waiting to serve it to us. And we still believe, like, nah, that chow mein or dirty yak, I mean, is good. Listen, man, we see it all the time and we know it all the time. But for some reason, when it comes to them, the other nations, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, so quick to forget. But we'll never forget something our brother did when we was in elementary school, middle school, or high school. It's right now, his brothers still have beef with people from high school, and they've been out of high school almost 20 years. Meanwhile, these devils done did whatever to you and your community and your family for generations and generations and generations. Done smacked up your grandma, done robbed your dad, done fired your dad, done did crazy stuff to your sisters and your brothers and stuff like that. Yo, we don't bet an eye against them. We don't bet an eye. We forgive them. Why? Because the Christian church taught us to love everybody. But they didn't teach you to love your brothers and your sisters. They taught you to love. When they said love everybody, they meant love them. And you know how that to be true? All you gotta do is hop on Google. That's the one good thing, right, about this world today, that a lot of people want to be uninformed. All you gotta do is hop on Google, learn about the early days of Christianity. When Christianity got put to black people, they gave us this book called the Slave Bible. They took out all the Old Testament. That's for you guys who don't want to believe in the Old Testament. That's where that ideology came from. They didn't want you to talk about nothing in the Old Testament. Why? Because the Old Testament showed you who you were and how much you fought for who you were. They didn't want that. So they gave you the New Testament. That's why we got those Bibles. When you see these so-called fake white devil ministers handing out Bibles at airports and conventions, it's just the New Testament. Then they sat in the churches, sat in your Baptist church, sat in your Protestant church, sat in your Lutheran church, sat in your Seventh-day Adventist church, sat in all these non-denomination churches, and made sure your message did not lead to Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people understanding who they are. Because if you understood who you wasn't going to take that from these devils. Yo, they your peasants. The God made sure the world that you was going to be above them, and we taking it from peasants. Understand that Blacks, Hispanic, and First Nation people, Rick Child is a peasant. Austin Metcalf is a peasant, right? All that jewelry, the judge, President Trump, all these people are below you, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. But for some reason, we look to them to give us an answer. The answer is in that book that's been collecting dust in your house. The answer is coming into the school in the ISUPK where you're going to learn the truth about yourself and keeping your culture. All right? That's the answer. Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments under Christ. And then, oh man, we be back. We be back at the top. It got to come to a point where we feel like, yo, we tired of this. All right? Continue reading, sir. Verse 16.
Verse 16. Thou shalt be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Ain't that us, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people? Everywhere we go, we deal with these problems. No matter what we try to do, we deal with these problems because these heathens, right? Understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, it's rough growing up in the city, right? But man, oh man, when you hear stories about some of the football players and their life growing up in the South, backwoods Mississippi, oh, it's rough, right? No matter where you go, it's going to be rough for Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Because the Most High said we ain't keep these commandments wherever we go. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be cursed in the city and cursed in the fields. All right. Skip down. Let me get verse 29. Slide. Yeah, can I get verse 29? And this is heavy that because, and this is one thing, this is why I tell you the Christian church doesn't teach you what the Bible really is. They just teach you a sermon on how to feel good and dance, right? Because I grew up in a Christian church. And when I mean I grew up in a Christian church, like, there's a lot, there's some people who say like they went to church, like, nah, like, yo, I went to church. Like, when I was in church. Now, I wasn't no deacon or nothing like that. Wasn't trying to be a pastor, but I was in church every Sunday. So most Sundays, 2 services. Some Sundays, we ain't go 2 services. We would leave our church, go to my grandmother's church, right, for another sermon. Went to the revivals. And the revivals would be from like Sunday to Wednesday, every night in church, right? Part of the choir, part of the audio ministry. Anything go on in church, we in there. Saturday, we in the church. Cleaning the church, we are part of the church. And when I mean to tell you, now one time that we hear about Deuteronomy in 28, not one time. So you know what they did teach you? The New Testament. And nothing is wrong with the New Testament. The New Testament is fire. But the problem is they hide the Old Testament because when the Old Testament, you won't know who you are, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. They don't teach you that you are the children of the Most High. All right, that you're the chosen people, that you're above everybody else. They don't teach us that. Because again, they want to keep you below. And when it comes to you answering your questions, man, like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? It's because we choosing the lifestyle and the way of other nations instead of our lifestyle. Christianity, it's another nations. Islam, another nations. Rastafarian, another nations. Hinduism, another nation. Taoism, another nation. Buddhism, another nation. We want to leave in Greek mythology, another nation. Astrology, another nation. All these things that we attribute ourselves to today as a people from another nation. From another nation of people. Even when, like this one thing that always baffled me, even when I was going to college. Fraternities. Bro, I'm not Greek. Why are we pledging ourselves to Greek? Another nation. We are the only people so proud to take aspects of every other nation. But you know the sad part about that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people? They love their culture. They'll throw it in our face. We have never, as a people, said they're too white. They're too Asian. They're too whatever other nations. They're too Hamitish. Never say that. These Hamites wear they little whack garbs and garments on all the time, and we don't bat an eye when they wear that. When you see the Scottish walking around here with their dresses on and little kilts or something like that, we don't say nothing. When St. Patrick's Day and the Irish go do what they do, we don't say nothing. But when a black man, Hispanic man, and First Nation people start talking about their people and the betterment of their people and the culture of their people, you know what we say inside? Man, you too black. That's that blackity black. You just way too black for me, man. That's just too much. You know another person who taught blackity black? Christ. And what did we do to Christ? We got together and said, yo, get him up out of here. Yo, he got to go. He tripping, dog. We trying to rock with my man Caesar. We trying to rock with Pilate and them, bro. You tripping, bro. So what you mean I can't go in this brothel? What you mean I can't rob my brother? What you mean, bro? You tripping, Christ. You tripping, bro. Hey, man. Hey, Pilate, yo, go do what you do with him, man. Get him up out of here. That's how we are as a people. When we go in those corners and talk to our people, most of the confrontation don't come from a devil. It come from our people loving the devil so much that they will fight for the devil against their own brothers. Meanwhile, we telling our Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, like, yo, you great, bro. Don't take that, bro. Become great, bro. Nah, you tripping, bro. You tripping, yo. That white man, he the man. He the man. That's what they'll tell us. And literally want to fight us. A demon will conjure up. We'll have a brother while we on the corner. We like, hey, bro, man, come on, ask the question. What you got to say? Nah, you ain't talking to y'all, yo. I don't want to say nothing to y'all. White man come up. Here come that same brother. Hey, man, yo, come on, man. Don't even talk to them, man. Don't even talk to them. He got more words to save the white man than he do for his own people. We love them. We got to understand Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. As long as we love these other nations, we're going to still be in these conditions. All right, you got verse 29 for me, sir?
Con. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday.
All right, so grope. Grope means to feel about and blinded. Feel about blindly and you uncertainly. All right, so the Most High is saying, yo, listen, man, we just going to be feeling it and we're going to be doing it blindly, uncertainly, right? At noonday. This is how we feel as a people because let's be honest, how many of us sit at home just thinking about ways we can just make it? Like, yo, us as a people, that's what we literally sit and think like, yo, it has to be a way that I can just get out of these conditions. Maybe if I work another job, maybe if I get into this business, real estate business, it gotta be a way, man. Maybe if I get an ounce real quick and flip it for real, you know what I mean? I can just stash my money to the side and maybe I can get out of these conditions. Listen, man, we continue reading.
As the blind gropeth in darkness.
Think about it, man. We out here searching for answers, reaching and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like a blind person groping for in darkness. All right. Yo, we can't see nothing. But we reaching, we reaching as a people, man. Continue reading.
And thou, Slaki, and thou shall not propose to not prosper in thine ways.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. Listen, man, we reaching, yo. We trying to come up with every scheme and everything to become successful or be better. But nah, those things don't listen. How many of us seen so many celebrities that made it to the top? One of the saddest stories, Adrian Broner right now. Everybody talking about, yo, you be watching his feed? Nah, I don't want to see it. Because, yo, this man was a cool boxer for real. So, you know what I mean? He started to fall off. But at the same time, though, yo, he was a nice boxer. And right now, like, a lot of us don't understand, like, yo, he's sick right now. You know what I mean? That's what we need to really understand, that, like, when it comes to working for these devils and being entertainment for these devils, man, like that, you ain't gonna prosper. A lot of stuff get taken from us, man. Continue reading.
Come. And thou shalt be only oppressed.
There you go, right there. Thou shalt be only oppressed. At the end of the day, man, yo, we gonna be oppressed. We gonna be oppressed. Listen, you think you make millions? How many of us seen so many celebrity stories about them, man? Listen, yo, I thought I was at the top of the world. I got money, and man, it wasn't worth it. How many of them wishing that they didn't make that decision? Right? How many? Like, we have so many sisters crying, wishing that she didn't choose that industry lifestyle. I mean, the devil said, yo, come on, yo, we got some money for you. Then you're going to end up being oppressed. And there's a different type of oppression. And I can only imagine being a person who's seen all that and got that much money falling from that. You know how that feel? I forgot what was his name, man. And they was like, yo, he was Ubering. Think about that, Officer Corral. Yo, you make millions. And now you back to Ubering. Think of the mindset you're being, bro. Like, yo, I had it all. And it's gone. Gone. Meanwhile, you got brothers and sisters out here like, yo, if I just touched the mill, bro. You had it. You lost it, right? We become oppressed, man. We just like that goes for like we all oppressed. Don't think just because you see them on TV and they get millions and stuff, man. Listen, us as a people, we oppressed. All right, continue reading.
And spoil evermore.
Now, listen, man. When it comes to spoil, see, a lot of us, you gotta understand, like, certain words have more than one meaning. It's not spoiled like a person is spoiled, like that little kid spoiled. He think he get everything he want. No, think of it like when it says spoiled. Imagine, and there's another word for like riches and stuff. When if you was to rob a bank, or when people used to rob a bank, right? They would take the spoils. When they would go to war, they would take the spoils of war. Guess what, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people? We are oppressed and the spoils. Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we're the spoils. We're the riches of this world, and we get snatched up. Everything we do. Listen, we make billionaires so rich. McDonald's, we make them dumb rich. Amazon, we make dumb rich. NBA, NFL, baseball, all sports, for real, we make them dumb rich. Clothing and fashion, we make all them rich. Hair, we make them rich, right? Plastic surgeons, we make them rich. All we do here in America is become spoils to all the other nations. The Chinese man, Rick Chow's shop, and his cousin's shop that's across the street in the other hood, guess what we doing? We making them rich, sending their kids to college. We spoils. And the rest of the world sees us as spoils. But we don't realize that shit. My Salak is that. Think about this. How many times you done heard somebody say blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we make and break the economy here in America, but they don't correlate with us. This is why they do the things they do. So we can just keep spending our money. Listen, when Colin Kaepernick kneeled, it was like, brothers was like, yo, chill, bro. Stop watching the NFL. Man. I feel you, Colin Kaepernick. I feel you. They is unaliving us. They definitely unaliving us, but not watch football? Nah, you tripping, man. I pay for that Sunday package. I can't wait to go out there and tailgate. Yo, we just spoils to them. They can do whatever, and we still gonna accept it. Right now, I'm willing to bet some money that right now one of our brothers and sisters is eating some cat dipped in orange abstract right now over some rice. Right now. They doing it. That's just a fact. Us as a people, that's just a fact that we are doing it. And the problem is we don't see them as enemies. They are your enemy, Black, Hispanics, and First Nation people. All right, we just here to make them rich. They are enemies. You was about to say something.
Salakia, sir. What you're saying is dynamic. And I also want to say that spoil also means rotten.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we oppressed and we made ourselves rotten by following after these other cultures.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Most High, like it's scriptures about how the Most High, man, if you don't follow his laws, man, he'll turn, you know what I mean, his face from you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants a rotten apple. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like it does no good. Like you following after these other nations, man, you're not doing no good. You're actually rotten. You're making yourself rotten.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know why? Because we don't have that thing, that special, they don't see that special thing that the Most High gave us because we covering ourselves up with the culture and tradition of other nations. You know what I'm saying? We take Rastafarian, we take off what makes us, and put on Rastafarian.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We take off us and put on the culture of the oppressor in America. You know what I mean? Roman and Greece and following their holidays and doing what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Yeah, I just want to say.
And that's heavy right there, man. We gotta really understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nations people. And I'm gonna show you a video to show you how much we are spoils. Now this video does come from a Hamite, right? But the information he brought out, you know what I mean, is the important part, right? And he also uses us as spoils. He quick to use us as spoils. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what for real, that's really his main thing. So, yeah, yo, black people, bro, you ain't black. But you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna play this video for real, and I'm gonna show you how much we are spoils to America. Because we've done everything. There is no America without Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. All these monuments, all these things that we think is so great. I hate when devils sit here and say, we gave y'all civilization. When? Where? What civilization? Well, from that video. Is the Godfrey. It's a heavy video, man. We gotta realize how much we are to the world. But the problem is we stopped following law, statutes, and commandments, and we became spoils to everybody else in this world. All right. We gotta do better, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, man, because you know we should want to be at the top. We should want to be at the top, man. I know a lot of us is just tired, man. A lot of us is tired. Man. Every morning you gotta wake up, you hear that alarm clock, like, dang, bro. But you know the problem is we gotta go to work, man. Because we oppressed. We got to. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Have you ever, when you decide to finally break away from your oppression and finally get a vacation, when you go to the airport, in a city like Baltimore, man, listen, majority, like 90% of people in the airport, devils, man, because they having a good life. They get to go around and just do what they do. Meanwhile, man, we oppressed, man. We can take trips. Spirit gone now, so we got look. Hopefully, Frontier got some flights. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, some other flights just too much for Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, man. All right, so I'm gonna show you this video. I want you to pay attention to how we are spoils here in America.
Everybody around the world copies African Americans and then yet disrespects them. GPS is a black woman. 3D imaging is a black woman. Laser eye surgery is a black woman. Escalators a black inventor. Elevators a black inventor. The roller coasters, the cell phone, our video games is Jerry Lawson, Mary Van Brighton. In 1966, she invented the home security. You talking about open heart surgery, Daniel Hale, plasma, Charles Drew. We can keep going. Surgical equipment. Black people inventing, just constantly inventing. And they took everything and lied. Black people are still thriving. Black women have the highest degrees in America. These are the same women that were operated on with no anesthesia, but they're #1 in academics. Atrocities that African Americans have been through, I'm surprised we are this peaceful.
Black man invented the stoplight. White man invented a ticket. Keep going. Black man invented the light bulb. White man invented electric bill.
Black man invented the telephone. The white man invented the telephone bill.
Really gonna be then you should be a true to not use anything or be involved with anything that was invented or created by blacks. Do you want a list? The ironing board, the refrigerator, the baby carriage, shoemaking machines, the traffic signal, the incandescent light bulb, the folding bed, the mailbox, air conditioning, elevator. Do you want me to go on?
Everybody.
Understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we do it all. We've created everything for these other nations of people, but we haven't reaped the benefits of it. Why? Because we don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That video right there just let you know, we created the society. Everything. Listen, right now to this day, there is not nobody except little children without a cell phone. Listen, we got so many cell phones. It's so important to have a cell phone that they give them out for free at some of these stores. For free. Listen, you want a phone? Everybody want a phone. We created that. Video games. You know how many brothers nowadays play nothing but video games? We created that. Right? All these skyscrapers the white man built. The white man claimed he built, that he's so proud to have his business in those buildings. Only way he getting up them floors is if he catching that elevator. Black man made that. Good.
Salakia. Somebody on Facebook said, why you say we did it like you like you invented it?
That's my people. We when white people say, look, we created America. We made America. They ain't do it. And right. if it's a devil saying it, listen, bro, y'all haven't done nothing except unalive and touch kids. Got a job done. Right now, he's probably done it. That's his culture. We as a people, my people, did those things, not no devil. And if you black, that would be, that's again hating your people. We as a people, yes, we did that. When white people can sit here and say that they are our people, why Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people can't say we as if we are our people? All right. Now, understand that we are great people. All right. We created everything here in the world. We just got to realize that we need to get these laws, statutes, and commandments. You about to say something?
No, I was gonna say, I think that even that question popped in his head because we gotta understand, like when Nathan Keller on Facebook says that you say we like you did it, it's because he was brought up right in his family and it's his oppressive community to learn, and he was taught that Blacks are not a nation.
Right.
So they can't say we.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're just like stragglers all over the place. Understand that the other nations do not respect you.
Gone.
As a nation. And we need to keep that in our minds and think about that. And then think, how can we make these other nations respect us as a nation?
Right. And it's not by going to them, these devils, and praying that they allow us to be a nation. Right. Stop going to these devils thinking that they can help you. Right? I can't listen. We thought Donald Trump was going to be the answer. How many of us, you know what I mean, signed up and voted for Donald Trump? And now look at us. Look at us. But if you listen to the brothers now, we told you, man, listen, we ain't supposed to be dealing with none of that. Ain't got nothing to do with us. All right, so back on the topic, right? So, again, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we are the spoils of this earth. But we not reaping the benefits of what we did as a people because, again, we not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, when it comes to these other, the reason we don't see these people as enemies to us is because, for one, growing up in this land of captivity, and it's really Stockholm syndrome. Because growing up, one of my favorite movies was Glory, right? And you know the crazy thing about that movie, our people were slaves coming out of slavery and was willing to fight for the white man. And you know the crazy thing about it, I used to let a movie like, yo, that's the first black regiment. Yo, that's crazy, right? Not realizing there's a reason they the first black regiment. Because they were slaves. And then even throughout the movie, they had to go through oppression and segregation and stuff like that. During the movie, the North was the devils. They got their tail whooped, right? They see the brothers coming through. They get the fussing with them, like, man, like, bro, y'all on the same side. But nah, when it come to Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, just like in World War II, we fighting the Germans. But guess what? The Germans. The white man was fighting the Germans, and guess what the white man decided to do? Those Germans that was prisoners of war, y'all, they get to ride the bus with the Americans. The brothers, y'all can walk. And it's crazy. We see all those aspects and those things, and this is it gotta be the Christian church who taught us, like, persevere through it, no matter what. Keep going, strive. Martin Luther King generation, like, just keep striving. No matter what they do to you, you just get back up and keep, you know what I'm saying? Understand that, like, nah, we shouldn't want to be a part of that. We should keep these laws, statutes, commandments, and do our own thing. Why did we sit at a table and got spit on hoses, you know what I mean, sprayed on us, dogs, chased after us, beat with sticks? For what? Just so we can say we equal? But in reality, we know we not equal. What was the purpose when we was by ourselves? We decided, like, yo, we was the people. We was by ourselves. Our city was booming way more than them. Listen, whenever black people decide, like, yo, we're gonna leave white people alone, they have a problem. If white people today, or Asians, or any of these other nations say, yo, we're gonna leave black people alone, black people ain't gonna care. None of us is gonna care. Just like right now, when black people say, yo, we ain't banging with the Asian stops, how many of these Asians hopped online? You know what, you black people, man, you guys are this and this and this and this and this. If Asians would have said that to black people, we wouldn't care, bro. Go ahead, go keep your cat, your duck. I mean, not even your duck, your turtles, y'all be eating, your insects. You know what I mean? Your dogs you be eating, your spiders, yo, go keep all that. We don't want none of that. Your old, stale food. Go keep all that, man. Understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nations people, and the reason we didn't see them as an enemy because we haven't been taught this scripture. All right, let me get now. As a kid, we was taught I don't know if it was taught, I don't know if it's still taught today, but as a kid, when we was going to school, right, and the Christian church used to say this, it was this rule they used to always tell us, right? And they called it the golden rule, right? And if you're online, y'all know, you know what the golden rule is. You know what the golden rule is, Officer Corral?
No lies, sir.
All right, so in school they used to teach us this golden rule, and it was always told to treat others as you would like to be treated. Right? We learned that. Listen, in school they embedded that into us. And then even in the church, that's how they got love everybody, treat everybody the way you want to be treated. And black people, guess what? We the only ones who believe that idea. This is why when all these atrocities and stuff happen to us, we still try to be the best Black, Hispanic, and First Nation people in their eyes. Even when we know they did something crazy to us, we still want to be the best of the best, because you know what? We sit there and think like, yo, man, I just want peace. So no matter what y'all do to us, man, treat him how you want to be treated. Listen, they laughing at us. Like, yo, y'all the only dummies who believe that. And you know the crazy thing about that whole ideology? Guess what? Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. That golden rule, it's from another nation. It's from another nation. Right? The principle known as the golden rule the first time it appeared was in Egyptian writings back in 1850 BCE. That's them Hamites. That ain't our people. Right? Then in China, Confucius in 551 and 479 BCE, he taught that. That's again Chinese. That's not our people. Right? Then you got Indian texts and Buddhist texts, right? And in the Jewish traditions. All these other nations are not our people. But we so stern and stand so firm on that. You know how many times I got taught that? I said, man, treat everybody like the way you want to be treated. They don't treat us the way they want. I mean, unless that's what they want. Right? All right, so now understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, right? We have an enemy out here, and I'm gonna bring it out to you. All right. And once you realize that you do have an enemy, it would allow you to understand why these things are happening to you. For one, we not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High set up. So because we didn't keep it, we got our consequence. Right now, we on punishment. Right? We stuck in that corner. Now these other nations, while we in that corner, they oppressing the mess out of us. Right? And we like, yo, why would they do that to us? I mean, I'm in the corner. I'm doing everything they want from us. I'm trying to be the best citizen I can be. Now I'm going to show you why. Because you might not know how great you are, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, but they do. Let me get Psalms 83 and 2. All right. This, again, the scripture that the Christian church don't teach you. Right? This is something they don't teach you. And this is a point that you need to have, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, because once you realize that you are at war out here, all this stuff, it all makes sense. You not appalled and, man, this is crazy, man. This is just wow. Yo, they let them walk free. How? Bro, they don't care about Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. We gotta stop believing that they do. All right. The reason we believe that we do, because we work with John at work, and he's semi-cool, I guess. We be like, yo, they not all that bad. That's why we believe it. Or we don't even come in contact with them. We just assume that they cool, right? Because we see them on TV and see the things that they do on TVs and movies, and we want to be a part of it. Like, wow, man, they get to do this. That's cool. I wish I could do that. So we think that they're cool people. But they not. They your enemy, for real, for real. Not only are they your enemy, all nations are your enemy. And we gonna bring it out. You got it?
Khan. This is Psalms chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies, it said enemies, right?
Khan.
Your homeboy,
your enemies,
the Asians,
enemies,
the Arabs,
enemies,
white people,
enemies,
Chinese,
enemies,
Japanese,
enemies,
Russians,
enemies,
all these other nations of people. Your enemies make a tumult. A tumult is basically like a a loud gathering. I always equate it to like a just think about like you being in a big conference room. Now, think about like what do they call it? Like the Supreme Court way back in like Roman times, where it was just so many people and they all around like the Coliseum and they hooping and hollering and screaming over some whatever's the law is trying to get passed. Think about that. All your enemies is all together in this room and they screaming, no, we want to do this, we want to do that, right? They all fussing, right? Screaming at each other, right? It's loud, right? Continue reading.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And the key word about that is hate thee. All right, listen, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, your enemy hates you, right? They hate you. I don't like, for some odd reason, we believe when it comes to our brothers, right? We understand that, it's on sight. But when it comes to the enemies, our real enemies, we don't view them that is on sight. We still surprised that they unalived us. We still surprised that they was able to go this far over a water bottle. We unsurprised that they shot into a car with a 1-year-old. We not surprised, like we become surprised about these things. And it's like, if a brother was in a gang and he walked down a certain street with the other gang that they beefing with, and they one of them end up getting unalived, nobody is surprised. But when it comes to these enemies, that's these other nations, we sitting back like, how could that have happened? We keep putting ourselves in these situations, right? Not realizing the answer is right in front of us. If we do what we're supposed to do, that soon there will be no more of these situations, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. How many moms we tired of crying, man, over dumb stuff like yo ain't even had no water. Down 150 yards. I played football. 150 is crazy. And I ain't gonna hold you. This is how you know that devil heathen Chinese man really wanted to hunt you down, because running 150 yards, that's OP. That's OP. That's you running. That's a minute. Understand that, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. All right, so it says that continue reading. Verse 3.
Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thine people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Right? And I know a lot of people is like, y'all just saying they are enemies. We're gonna read some verses down where it's going to tell you who the enemies are. Right? These enemies that hated us as a people, they got together and they made a crafty counsel, right, against us as a people. Continue reading.
And consulted against thine hidden ones.
And while they was creating this crafty counsel, listen, Christianity is a crafty counsel. Basically everything that America pushes on us as a people, or wants you to believe that it's great, it's a crafty counsel, because it's going to go against what the Most High wants you to do. And if it goes against what the Most High wants you to do, it's a crafty counsel. If they want to show you like, it's successful, listen, man, it's a crafty counsel. It's to get you off of you becoming high above all nations, right? So they consulted. They talking it over. Listen, it's a loud talking. They they trying to get this point across. All these people is trying to get this point across. Right? Continue reading.
Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So check it out. Listen, man, they fussing, hooping, and hollering in this big conference room, big stadium of all these other nations, and hooping and hollering is loud, right? And they like, let us cut them off from being a nation. That's their whole goal. But the devil, what was his name? Nathan, who was like, why are we saying we? Because guess what? We in a point in time that we don't see, as Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, we don't believe we are a nation. And other nations have cut us off from being a nation. So guess what? right now, that's why that was perfect. My man talking about why we say we.
Right.
Because they cut us off from being a nation. That continue reading the next part.
Sure. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel will be no more in remembrance. Blacks, Hispanic, and First Nation people, a lot of us as a people, we don't even fathom the idea that we are the real Jews of the Bible. We don't even consider it, to the point where, like I remember asking, like, yo, if we Gentiles, like we don't got no nation and none of that. No, we're just Gentiles. Like, Gentile just mean you're not a Jew. You're not of Israel, not an Israelite. But you still have got a nation. Think about that. Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, you ask your pastors and ask them, yo, what nation of people we from? But that, like, just think about it. What if you not even talking about, you know what I'm saying, the scriptures for like you just trying to have a general conversation with the pastor. You like, yo, hey man, like, you don't think it's important that I find out like what nation the people I'm from? Yo, just like, nah, yo, you just a Gentile. They made sure that our name will be cut off. Right? This is why when we go out there and the brothers go out there and teach us that we are Israel, we have a hard time dealing with it. A lot of us don't want to hear it. And so like it, and when we do hear it, it go out one ear and out the other. Right? We be like, yo, that do sound cool, but nah, ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way. Right? Because these other nations got together and created so many devices that will stop us from being a nation. Listen, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, as long as we continue to follow behind these other nations, we are going to be sitting in punishment, asking ourselves, why us? Until we realize that they are our enemies, and the only way to combat your enemies is by keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, so he can do what he said he was going to do. And what he said he was going to do was put us high above all other nations. We got to get back to doing what we supposed to be doing. All that other stuff don't really matter. Right now is a time where we see it. It's getting blatant. Right now they coming out with chimping out. Listen. That's their new term, to the point where they can just walk on the streets and say free speech. See, this one thing you gotta realize now, these devils that came up with the whole idea of like, yes, we had, I guess, free speech here in America. They done took it to a whole nother level, even though they never really hit it. But now they like, yo, I can just say free speech. And they are all Christians. All you gotta do, if you're at home, I know you might not want to, but all you gotta do is look up every little person that you see says racist stuff. Find their Instagram, find their Facebook, and in their title is gonna say Christianity. They're gonna be a Christian, because again, Christianity has nothing to do with the Bible. It's just white supremacy. All right, so Black Hispanics, and First Nation people again. This is the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And we've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. We are the real Jews of the Bible. And yes, we are a nation. All right. And with that, I'm going to pass the class off to Officer Kara for the reading of security announcement. Shalom, Israel.
We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. We are the Salaki. A new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. This means, in the Hebrew, it means my Aishara. 10% of every penny increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest funds. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Up and coming holy convocations. What's the up and coming? You can just look online and we'll let you know the up and holy convocations that's coming. Remind Akim and Awathiam to check on social media such as ISUPK, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves. And with that, men of Israel, Ahmadiyam, we're going to give the teacher one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Ahmadiyam Shabbat, Ahmadiyam, Barak, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shabrakatah, Yayamatah, Saw, which means turn. Sisters, Ahmadiyam, men of Israel, we're going to get the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Ahmadiyam Shabbat, Ahmadiyam, Barak, Yahweh Shemal, Alatham, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Yayamatah. Dismissed.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.